Las Vegas Discount.net's the best there is. Save up to 50% on your next Vegas trip. And travel, rental, shows, and tours. Find the deals you're looking for. Las Vegas Discount.net. Las Vegas Discount.net. If you're going to Vegas for deals that are the best, visit Las Vegas Discount.net.
Welcome to humanity. This is our one.
Whatever it takes, we got to say. Whatever it takes is what it took.
This is Brock Lesnar, and you're listening to Fight Net Radio.
Yo, hi, this is Sugar Ray Leonard, and you listen to Fight Net Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to listen to Fight Net Radio.
Lee Harvey Oswald, what's your name? How am I supposed to know you?
This is Frank Shamrock. You're listening to Fight Net Radio.
Hi, this is Tia, the Knockout St. John. You're listening to Fight Net Radio, and there's no way I would ever touch Lee.
This is Chuck Jackson.
I am Stephen Bonner, and you're listening to Fight Net Radio.
Dan Henderson, you're listening to Fight Net Radio.
Everybody, welcome to Fight Net Radio, where Lee's burning every bridge there is out there. All right.
Hi, this is Manny Pacquiao. I'll fight anybody on FightNetRadio.com.
Yo, Lee Hunish, Bobby Capucci, Best Bet, Bookie of the Week. And it is live from Las Vegas. Very difficult week for those of you who live under a rock or a tree or don't know. The horrifying tragedy of what was Sunday night. Bobby, you were there. Take me through it again, because this isn't your first time. We were just talking about it a minute ago.
Yeah, I wasn't actually at the event per se, but, as it started to unfold, I was, we were just hanging out, and thankfully my girlfriend, who works right in the area at New York, who usually works a graveyard shift inside of the casino, hasn't started that shift yet. So she wasn't there that night, and she happened to be off. So nobody that was, directly in my life per se that I knew, my immediate family.
Did it again.
Is the connection still going crazy?
Yeah, now it's okay again. Boy, it would be great if this is... I'm going to keep the recorder on. I got to be honest. If there's a conspiracy theory and we're actually getting our show hacked while trying to record, that would be the greatest moment ever in Fight Net Radio history.
I mean, what the hell, bro?
I suspect high winds in Las Vegas, probably more than anything else.
Gremlins
happen with the internet out there. Well, I'm glad to hear that nobody directly related to you. I did have somebody directly related to me. They had a friend die at the concert. I should have been at the concert. I was actually at Jason Aldean on Friday night in Northern California. We were talking about this before the show. Now I got to deal with a bunch of dumbass white people on Saturday night up in Northern California, Farm Hicks. If you're listening to the show and you're a farm hick going to Lee Bryce, leave your gun at home, please. I know you're going to bring it anyway, but leave your gun at home. I don't want to deal with it.
Yeah, look, I'm pretty pro Second Amendment myself, and I have a pretty strict opinion of what the Constitution is. But something like a bump stock, I mean, I'm not an avid, shooter or anything like that, but I have a good buddy who is, and he was over here last night, and we were discussing this a little bit about, the firepower that was used to carry out this kind of carnage. And while I'm all for people having semi-automatic rifles, as the Constitution states, there got to be, a certain point where we say, what's the point of having something like a bump stock attachment to your rifle? What are you going to kill? 10 extra rabbits? I don't understand what the point of having something like that is. And I might just be ignorant to the fact because, like I said, I'm not a sports shooter. I've only shot a gun a few times in my life, but I'm super pro Second Amendment because I'm super pro Constitution. So I understand the need for it, and I understand why we have to have it. And I hope that there's not a knee-jerk reaction about, oh, well, everybody needs to give away their guns. But what I hope it does do is spark an honest debate amongst people that matter, the lawmakers on the Hill. Hopefully they can have an honest debate about the subject for once, and we can, get some common sense through to maybe – you're never going to stop stuff like this. I mean, let's be honest. We live in an age where you can get a gun as quickly as you can go get something at the store, and I don't mean legally. If you have enough money, the sky's the limit. Everybody's heard about, the Silk Road and the deep web, and, the list goes on. So if you're enterprising enough, which a guy like this obviously is, professional gambler, they're saying, millionaire, he has 2 planes, pilot's license. All right, so, this guy has resources. Where's he getting the stuff at? Obviously, he bought it all legally, and he converted it. So common sense says to somebody like me, we have to go and figure out what's going on with this attachment that they're adding to the gun. I think that that's a point where everybody can agree on, and a sensible point where the conversation should start.
I agree. I'm just depressed on it. I mean, let's be honest. We've had schools with children actually get shot up and killed, and we did nothing about it. I hate to say this because I know what the fan base of this show is, but you middle-aged white people, you guys, if we're not going to change it over kids, we're sure as hell not going to change it over white people. What I'm most shocked about today is that it's not the top story. We're on Wednesday. It's literally not on the Twitter feed every 5.5 minutes.
Yeah, and that just goes to show you the situation of the world. I mean, every time you turn around, there's another disaster. I mean, is anybody talking about what's going on in Yemen? I mean, I hate to digress. I know our fans probably couldn't care less about the situation in the Middle East.
I can find a segue for the whole thing, which is now I got to go through a metal detector to place my bets.
Right, exactly. I mean, there's the largest outbreak of cholera ever. We're in the year 2017. You should not be dying from diseases that I was dying from in Oregon Trail in grade school. Yeah. It's just horrible to think about this, the state of the world, and then to think on top of that, there's people amongst us, no matter what their motives are, that have the desire to hop up into a suite. By the way, that you and I both know that had to be booked months in advance. This is so premeditated, it's not even funny. You can't get a suite like that unless you're balling out of control, you're making big bets, or you advance it months in advance and you get on it right away. I mean, this is Las Vegas, boys and girls. You're on a festival that's overlooking the festival. Man, this is premeditated. This guy is truly evil, and there's no way to stop somebody like this. So, I really don't know. There's people much smarter than me. Some knucklehead sports gambling guy that sitting around in Las Vegas. But I think that there has to be some common sense, and people need to. There has to be some give and take, including from the side of the pro-gun type people. I mean, like I say, I'm not big on knee-jerk reactions, and I hope there's a good, robust debate about the subject, and not just knee-jerk laws, take away freedom, take away freedom, take away freedom. Are you happy now? Are you safe?
Yeah.
I don't want to live in a police state. So we have to weigh the cost and the pros and the cons. When you live in a free society, there's always going to be crazy sons of bitches out there.
I was just about to say a comment that probably would have lost me most of our fan base just for my own personal amusement. It's so hard because I'm dancing on the fine line of too soon for an easy joke. But
yeah, probably not the best time.
All right, so you're saying no, you don't want to hear the joke is what you're saying.
Yeah, no, I'm probably good on the whole. It's like once again, I got to go back to 9/11. I'm still sensitive to those jokes. I mean, I had relatives in those buildings. They survived, and everything's good. But watching that unfold, it's not something that I find funny, and it's not something that I think should be joked about even to this day. Honestly, don't get me wrong. I'm not one of these people that if somebody makes the joke, I'm not gonna say, oh well, that's not funny. But personally, I don't find it amusing. I don't get the kick out of, I don't see the joy in the suffering of 3,000 plus, or in this instance, 517 and, 59. Now, if you want to make jokes about the moron who did the killing, or, maybe the way some of it's been handled
afterwards. It was a white guy.
Yeah.
Wait, we're back to my theory about white people and guns. Like, most of the problems in this country seem to be about white people.
Well, white people are the majority of the country. I think that a lot of it now it's not even a middle-aged guy. We're talking about a 64-year-old guy. And like you and I were discussing earlier, the gentleman who attempted to assassinate the Republican congressman, we got another guy who's, unhinged and at this age.
Wow. Cut off again, but I'm leaving the recorder running for anybody listening. I really want to believe in the conspiracy that our show's being cut off.
Did he decide, did he just decide one day to say, that's it, I've had enough? I was reading his CTR reports, and leading up to it, he had $160,000 in play that was reported via CTR, and I believe that was in Newsweek where I read that. So, I don't buy into the whole debt thing, because if the guy has enough money to purchase $100,000 in hardware to go and massacre a bunch of strangers, then I'm sure he has enough money to, throw away 160 grand. If you believe his brother, he was a millionaire gambler, 2 planes. So you have to, sort of believe that maybe, but who knows? This is one of those weird situations where the guy has like no social footprint. He's not on Facebook or Twitter. Usually, something like this happens, you jump right on Facebook when you hear their name, and before Facebook takes it down, you can even, find the stuff yourself and screenshot it. You know what I mean? But in this instance, there was nothing. I mean, I looked right away. I was listening to the police scanner. I found that Mary Lou Danley's page right away. But, it was one of those things where you got to wait for the investigators to do their job. These guys know what they're doing, I'm not really too confident in the FBI per se, but the local law enforcement here in Las Vegas, those guys they're on their stuff, man. Those guys know what they're doing. And I don't think those guys are going to arrest until they get some answers about this.
No, I think that we'll get something. I just hope it's not a cop-out answer, that it was, it's antidepressant medication. No.
Yeah, no, that's not going to fly this time. I mean, there's just too many loose ends. Why did he wire $100,000 to the Philippines? What does she know? Who were they associating with? Did they have any associations with any radicals domestically? You don't have to be from someplace in the Middle East or in somewhere else to be a terrorist. Anybody who does that, in my opinion, is a terrorist. I don't care about your political motives, and I don't care what the dictionary says. Yep. The terror that sowed across this whole entire city, I've never seen anything like it in my whole entire life. I mean, it was eerie. It was eerie to drive that way the next day, taking my girlfriend to work, and you see those windows blown out and the curtains flapping through, and it was really a surreal situation. And you know what? And that's from somebody who, like I said, I didn't have anybody directly there. I mean, my cousin's hockey coach.
Wow, another dropout. It really could be a conspiracy theory. Or gremlins.
He had to get surgery.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, so it's just, it's one of those things where you just look at it, and even if you don't really have anyone there that's directly impacted, it's your home. It's the place you live. You drive by there all the time, and to think some maniac is 320 feet up in a window firing rounds downrange over Las Vegas Boulevard into a crowd of people that just an hour before were singing God Bless the USA with their phones held up, It's really just, it's crazy to think that there's those kind of people amongst us, and we'll never know. I mean, look at it.
Wow, another cutout. I'm leaving him in for all of you listening. I really do believe we're being monitored on some level.
I always say to myself when they go talk to these guys' family, I'm like, how close are you to your family that's not your immediate family? You see them, 3 times a year? You could put on your good guy face those 3 times. So, I always take that kind of stuff like with a grain of salt, like with the brother, the whole conversation with the brother. He seems erratic and, whatever. I'm not a psychologist, and I'm not here to do anyone's job. I'm talking about just from what I've watched on TV and processed. And I don't know, maybe he's in shock, maybe there's people more qualified than me that can, diagnose what's going on. But when you're scratching your head like Laurel and Hardy and March of the Wooden Soldiers on national TV after your brother just massacred people, I got to think there's something going on.
All right, I'm going to turn the boat because it's time to turn the boat. And nobody will believe me when I make this comment, but hey, now's a great opportunity to go to Vegas, and I don't mean that in a cynical way.
No, for sure.
Vegas is dying for your business right now. It's a ghost town, right?
Yeah, you saw the slogan, right? We were there for you in good times. Thanks for being with us in bad times. And it's true, man. There's a lot of people that depend on people coming here. And what happened at Mandalay Bay could happen in any big city in the whole entire world.
Sure.
It's, it's something that we as citizens, we need to be cautious. I mean, I hate to say it, but we need to be vigilant. It's not your traditional war, and it's not a war with a one enemy. We have, a fractured nation. We have enemies within and without. it's really a sad situation what the country has come to, and we need to be vigilant as citizens. And